Hello everybody, welcome back to Kai Talks NFL. Today, I will be grading every single quarterback season. Yep, just like in school, we're going from A+ all the way down to F-. If you guys enjoyed today's video, let me know with the like because any support helps and it helps push the algorithm for me as I'm a small creator. Enough yapping though, let's just get right into this thing. Alrighty, here we are at the tier list. Just like I said, we got the grades A+, A, B, C, D, F, and F-. Starting off with Anthony Richardson, F-. He didn't even play and he sucks anyways. What a waste of a number 4 overall pick. Aaron Rodgers. I think the guy was still a great player. I'll give him a C. The only reason why I didn't put him any higher because he was definitely a little inconsistent. He did have some bad games. And in those playoffs too, he got first rounded, but I would still give him a C, probably a C+, honestly. He's very close to a B. Baker Mayfield. I'll give him a solid B. He was solid. At the end of the year, he definitely did slow down, but the guy is still an absolute tank that will do everything in his ability to extend a play. Whether it's stiff-arming a defensive lineman or just throwing an absolute nuke to whoever he's got, no matter how many injuries he has. Like I said, even though he slowed down, I'd still give him a B, B+. Bo Nix. I'll give him a B. You know, he still took his team to 12-5. Next, we got Bo Nix. I'll give him a B-. He just didn't really impress me that much this year, and I feel like they don't sling the rock as much. He kind of just chips down the field, similar to Jalen Hurts in a way. But yet again, he did take his team to the #1 seed, and he had some pretty crazy plays this year too. Although he's a little bit boring, I'd still give Bo Nix a B-. Next, we have Brock Purdy. I may be a little biased, but I'm going to give him a B- on the year. Started off the year slow, definitely, but then picked it up at the end. I mean, he just played so good at the end of the year. Seahawks game, we forget about that, whatever. But dude, this guy was deadly accurate, just throwing so many touchdowns, so resilient. Whatever mistakes he made, you know he'd come back at the end of the game and fix them. Extremely clutch, too, like in that Chicago Bears game. You know, he beat the Super Bowl champs in the wild card, and without all his weapons, too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give Brock Purdy a B. He does not deserve a B-. Next, we have Bryce Young. This is an interesting one. He was pretty inconsistent, so I'm gonna have to give him like a high C+, but he is very close to like a B-. One game, he would get his ass kicked by the Saints, and the next week, he'd beat the Los Angeles Rams. You really didn't know with him. If he gets that consistency under control and plays how he did the past couple weeks, Bryce Young can be in these 3 categories. I'll give Bryce Young a high C+. Next, we have Caleb Williams. I may be a little high on him, but I'm going to give Caleb Williams an A-. I think he had a great season. You know, I was talking about how Brock Purdy would make mistakes, but then fix them at the end of the game. This guy is the literal definition of that. I mean, he was just so clutch this year. Took a Bears team that was awful last year and took them all the way to the divisional round of the playoffs. I mean, seriously, this Bears team and Caleb Williams represented that the game is not over until that clock hits 0 in the 4th quarter. And even then, in overtime, they would still go out and win the game. His clutch factor gets him an A- alone. I'm giving Caleb Williams an A- on the year. Next, we have Cam Ward, the #1 overall pick. I'll give him a D-, honestly. He didn't have a lot to work with, had a terrible coaching staff, but at the same time, he just didn't make a ton of impact on that team until about the last like 3 or 4 weeks. And his last 3 or 4 weeks get him up to the D-, but still, his overall season was not good. I'm giving Cam Ward a D-, but I do think he'll bounce back next year. Next, we have Dak Prescott. I think Dak is still a great quarterback. I'm going to give him a B+. The only reason why I don't have him in the A area is because they missed the playoffs again. Although Dak himself, even though he did make some costly mistakes this year, he was still a really damn good quarterback. And granted, he did have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, but do not let that take away from how good he played this year. I'm giving Dak Prescott a B+ on the year. Dillon Gabriel. Jesus Christ, I never want to see him play an NFL snap again. Drake May. We got our first A+. Drake May had an A+ year. I mean, him and Mike Vrabel just changed the Patriots. Took a team that had 3 or 4 wins last year, and now they're in the damn Super Bowl. And Drake May is just one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. He has one of the most beautiful deep balls I have ever seen. This guy hits every single one of his wide receivers. He spreads the ball out so well. I believe he was second in passing yards on the year. Has a crazy high completion percentage. Dude, Drake May was a gunslinger this year. He did it all, even rushing. His rushing was extremely underrated this year too. Drake May deserves an A+. Geno Smith. Today I announced the new tier, Geno Smith. Yeah, he gets his own tier. That's how bad he was this year. People were hyping up this guy like he was gonna change the Raiders. He sucked all year. There was not one good thing about Geno Smith this year. Next, we have Jalen Hurts. I'll still give him a B-, even though I think he is extremely overrated. He still took his team to a good chunk of wins. He moves the ball down the field. Most of the time when this guy throws the ball like past 20 yards, it's not accurate. They just chip their way down the field, but it works, so I gotta give Jalen Hurts a B-. And he still does have some pretty nice plays every now and then. But I still think he is extremely overrated. Jared Goff. This one's interesting. I still think Jared Goff's a pretty good quarterback. I'll give him a B. Definitely not what the Lions wanted this year, but I wouldn't blame it on him. I think the absence of Ben Johnson really affected this offense this year. Didn't really allow Jared Goff to sling the rock until later in the week when Dan Campbell finally took over and gave that aggressive play style. But yeah, Jared Goff is just Jared Goff. He's always been solid. I'll give him a B. Next, we have Jackson Dart. I absolutely love Jackson Dart. This may be a little bit early, but I'm gonna give him like a C+ as of right now. We didn't get to see enough of him, so that's why I can't put him too high right now. But dude, I think this guy is the future of the NFL, genuinely. He is such a good rusher. I mean, he will truck the hell out of you. Who cares if he has CTE? He's a very accurate passer. He escapes pressure better than most quarterbacks in the NFL. He was working with not much this year. And then you look at the team when Russell Wilson was playing and then when Jackson Dart is playing. It's a completely different team. That's how much of a difference maker he is. Matter of fact, what we saw out of him, I'm going to give him a B- already. Jayden Daniels. This one is interesting. The guy was getting injured left and right every single week, so this one definitely is harder to rank in my opinion. And when he wasn't, he was just okay. I'm gonna give him like a C-. I still think Jayden Daniels is a great quarterback, and I think he will be up back here in these 3 categories. But from what we saw out of him, he wasn't the Jayden Daniels of last season, or the 2024 season. I gotta give him a C-. JJ McCarthy, oh my god. JJ McCarthy and Geno Smith are now best friends because they belong together. They're soulmates. They both suck so bad this year. Do I even need to talk about it? Imagine if the Vikings kept Sam Darnold, man. Joe Burrow, another player that was injured for most of the year, but when he did go in, he was very solid. This season, for when he did play, I'm still giving him a B+. He just needs some help on the offensive line, man. He gets injured so much. Still the same Joe Burrow, though. He throws for a ton of passing yards every single season. Crazy accurate quarterback, especially in the red zone. He's just a dog, man. I just wish he could stay healthy. Next, we have Joe Flacco. I mean, he had one good game versus the Steelers. I'm still gonna give him an F, though. He's Joe Flacco. You can't really expect much out of him. He's definitely not an F- by any means, but I also don't think he was very good either. Joe, love ya, but you gotta go an F. Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love. I really do. I think he deserves a B-. He definitely is a little inconsistent, so I'll probably give him a B-. But when he gets active, he is deadly accurate. I mean, he just threads the needle. One of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Rushing, he's pretty underrated, kind of like Drake May. And you can definitely see when he really wants a wide receiver 1 because he doesn't have a lot to throw to, and he can't really work like Drake May where he just works with what he has. I think he still needs a true wide receiver 1 to help him out, but I'd still give Jordan Love a B-. Next, we have Josh Allen. I'd still give him an A+. In my personal opinion, I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's like Drake May, but just bigger and stronger. You could have this guy pushed all the way to the sideline with 5 defenders around him. He will still somehow throw a dime in the end zone for a touchdown. You could have a literal defensive lineman in front of him. He'll either hurdle you or stiff arm you. You could be 70 yards back on the field. He'll throw a 70-yard bomb. You could need him to fit it in the tightest window possible. He will do it. That is how good Josh Allen is. Josh Allen had an A+ year in my opinion. Although the playoffs, some could argue he should be over there because of that. I'd still give him an A+ though. The Bills are nowhere near as good without him. Next, we have Justin Fields, F-. He was terrible this year. Had one good game in week 1, and that was it. Holds on to the ball just way too long. Threw for little to no passing yards every single game. His only good aspect of him is his rushing. That is it. Justin Fields gets an F- on the year. Justin Herbert. This one's also pretty interesting. I'm sorry, but his playoff performance, I gotta give him a B-. I love to see what he does in the regular season. He's a great quarterback. But in the playoffs, he just can't do anything. He's worse than me in the playoffs. I'm giving him a B-. Kenny Pickett. I think he maybe played like 1 or 2 games with the Raiders. But either way, he was not good. He didn't make any impact at all. He probably should have started over Geno Smith, though. Kyler Murray. He was not good this year. I don't care what anyone says. It's been the same Kyler Murray the past 5 years. He hasn't done anything. He's not taking your team anywhere. He's the most average quarterback in the NFL. And this year, he proved that he's below average. I know he got injured, but they were going to start Jacoby Brissett over him anyways, because he just wasn't good. And he has like no clutch factor at all. Oh, but the Hail Murray. Shut up. That was 4 years ago. Lamar Jackson. Now, he started off his season slow, so I can't give him an A+. I'll give him like a B+, right around where Joe Burrow is. Similar to Joe Burrow, he was injured for a good chunk of the year, but he did really pick it up at the end and showed that he's still Lamar Jackson. Best rushing quarterback in the NFL. Pretty decent passer as well. Just a great overall quarterback. Matthew Stafford. He also gets an A+, probably the MVP of the league. Not mine, but for most people. Led the league in passing yards, touchdowns, was just lighting it up in every single game, no matter the defense, no matter the opponent. They fell short this year, but damn, were they good. Matthew Stafford was an elite tier quarterback this year. He deserves an A+. And at his age, too, is just insane to me. Patrick Mahomes. I'll still give him a C+, but he was not that good this year. Couldn't move the ball down the field as much as he used to be able to. Threw more interceptions, in my opinion. His team missed the playoffs. And sure, he still had some Mahomes plays, like he had that one play versus the Chargers where he was literally half on the ground and, you know, he looked a little Mahomey. But I still think he was just average this year. I'll give him a C+. Although I think he'll be back up here very soon. Michael Penix. He's average. I'll give him a C. There's just not a lot special about Michael Penix, in my opinion. I don't got much else to say about him. Russell Wilson. He was not good. I mean, this guy's just trying to keep his career alive. He had one good game versus the Cowboys, and that was it. When Jackson Dart came in, it completely changed the Giants. It shows that he was the problem. Sam Darnold, another interesting one. We got a lot of B's, but I'm going to give him a B+ as well. I definitely do think he is slightly overrated right now, but nonetheless, he joined a new team, joined a new coaching staff, and took his team to the Super Bowl. I think that at the bare minimum deserves to be a B+. He had a B+ year, in my opinion. Shedeur Sanders, I'll give him a D. I mean, he definitely showed some flashes, but he also shows that he could be a bust. He only played a couple games, and he didn't really make a ton of impact to the Browns. I'm hoping he'll be good in the future, but this year he was just like a D. Trevor Lawrence, he was very solid this year. Matter of fact, I'm going to give him an A. Started off the year a little rocky, but then him and Liam Cohen took this team to 12-5. Trevor Lawrence was pretty clutch at the end of the year. He's got a very nice deep ball. Emerged new guys like Parker Washington. I think Trevor Lawrence played very solid this year. I'm giving him an A. Tua, F-. The worst clutch quarterback I have ever watched in my life. Has no impact to that team and just brought the team down even more. Tyler Shough, I'm gonna give him a C. Dude, he really picked it up at the end of the year. I think he proved that he's gonna be their quarterback next year. And he's also an offensive rookie of the year candidate, which is cool. Well, this is my grade for every single NFL quarterback this season. Let me know what you guys think. And that is also it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, let me know down below. There will be a pretty big announcement coming soon. I'm very excited to share, so stay tuned on this channel. And I will see you all in the next one.